Hey guys, Ellen Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. I just wanted to show you how I made this ink blender background for my watercolour wings card. Now I've used these two ink pads, Delightful Dijon Crushed Curry, and I have used our sponges. Now these come in a set of 3 when you buy them, but what I have done is cut them up into wedges. So these ones have been cut into 4, and sometimes I even cut them a bit smaller. So I am also using our watercolor paper. Now this is just a offcut of our watercolor paper. What I was trying to do on this side didn't really work. Always another side to our paper. So I'll pop the example to the side and I will show you how we did this. So just going to open our ink pads here. And I always make sure I turn them around so I can see the label for which colour. Just bring in a scrap piece of paper to blend on, and let's see if I can work out which colour was which. So I'm going to start off with our lightest colour, Crushed Curry, and I'm just going to dab into that, and starting off the paper I'm going to start blending. So I always go in circular motions. That stops getting any harsh lines from what we're doing. Now if I'm holding these awkwardly, if any of you have watched my intro video, I actually have a peripheral neuropathy which affects my hands, so I do maybe hold things a bit more awkwardly. So I've laid down a fairly generous layer of the crushed curry, and I'm just going to pop that down, spin my piece around and go with our Delightful Dijon. So once again, starting off the paper, you can also do this technique if you want to be a bit smoother. You can use like a barbecue sheet that you use on your barbecue, and that just allows you to glide on the paper a little bit easier. But I think because I've been doing this for so many years, I tend not to have issues. Now I do have a bit of a harsh line there. I am not too concerned because we're going to be creating this splatter effect, so it shouldn't matter. Now I've just up here, I always get ink on my hands, so you can see I've almost met in the middle here, and this is where I start going back and forth between the two colours until I get the blend that I want. So I've just brought the crushed curry down a bit further. I'm going to go back and just bringing in from either side now. Just going to bring in that Delightful Dijon a bit higher. Okay, so you can see I've got a bit of a line here, so I'm going to go back in with the crushed curry. Now this is going to be complete personal choice about when you want to stop. Actually, I might build up this crushed curry a little bit more. So just building that up. Now I think I may have stamped on this side because I've got another stamp coming through, but that's okay. So blend, just trying to soften that line. I think I am happy with that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pop my ink pads out of the way here, also move my sponges, Now I always keep just a water bottle. This is great for rehydrating my chamois, which I use to clean my photopolymer stamps. It's just a good little tool to have. So what I'm going to do now that this has sat for a few minutes, so hopefully the ink has started settling, so I'm not going to fully push in. I'm just going to do like little half spurts of water from, okay, so hopefully you can see the water there that I've dispensed, and I've sort of gone everywhere as you do with the water sprayer. I'm just going to let this sit. Now while this is sitting, this is actually drawing up the ink that we've already put down. So in a few seconds I'm going to bring in this piece of paper towel, and that is going to take away the water droplets that have the ink in them, and just to create that splatter background. So I can see that those drops of water have actually turned into ink drops. So just give that nice bit of pressure, and you can see that we have a nice lot of splatters, and you can see the ink has transferred nicely to the paper towel. Lucky I was using a scrap piece. Now what I like to do at this point is to take our Stampin' Up! Heat tool, and you can see it's bowed just a bit from the water that we've put on. Now I give this a quick dry off, and you will see that the paper will straighten back out. So that's straightening out really nicely. Now, if you ever wonder if your paper's dry or not, if your watercolor paper feels cold, then it's wet. And if it doesn't feel cold, so this feels nice, normal temperature, now that it's cooled off, it's dry. So that piece is ready to use on a card. So I'll just pop this backing piece away. So you can see here, once I bring the card back in, that I've created very similar backgrounds just using our sponges, our ink pads, and some water. Now if you didn't have a spray bottle, you can just pop some water in your hand or on the tips of your fingers and flick it out like that as well. That will give a very similar effect. So just to tell you how I made this butterfly, I took the watercolor wings set, and I've used this smaller butterfly, not the larger one, and I have just stamped off with Elegant Eggplant with this layer. I've used the Delightful Dijon with this layer. I have stamped off Elegant Eggplant with the third layer, and then I went in with the full colour with this last layer, and I just added the little body and used the framelits to cut it out. I will have some more information on my blog, so please make sure you check it out. The link will be below in the video description. Give me a thumbs up if you liked my video, and please subscribe so I can keep you up to date with more quick tips as they come across my craft desk. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to check out my online store as well. Have a great day, and I'll catch you later. Bye.